Hi guys, I'm back for another video. I was originally planning on today's video being my unpopular Monster High opinions, but I actually have a lot of them and I kind of want to just like keep thinking about it and get a really long nice video for you guys. Today, instead of that, I figured I would just talk about my current in search of list. Grail dolls that I'm trying to get, things that are on my radar. For many years, I was a Monster High only collector. I didn't really have interest in other doll lines. I recently started getting into Rainbow Shadow High because I picked up Veronica Storm from Facebook Marketplace. I'll show you her. So I picked her up probably about a month or two ago, and I kept telling myself, this is going to be the only one, this is the only one I like, and I lied. I am not that I'm maxed out on my Monster High collection, but all of the easily accessible dolls, I'm kind of maxed out on. So in lieu of, getting Monster High dolls, I'm kind of just getting, Rainbow Shadow High. They're very accessible and affordable, and if I decide that I don't like them someday, they move really fast too. I could just lock them up on Facebook and sell them in bulk. While we're on the subject of Rainbow High, I know a lot of you are going to be like, you're so ridiculous. It's your second Rainbow High doll ever and you got Lily Chang. I'll be honest, she's one of the prettiest dolls they've ever come out with. Mine is in box. I wound up getting a really, really good deal for her. I was searching for one out of box, but this one was basically the same cost as one out of box would be anyway, so I picked her up, and now I'm too scared to unbox her. Ideally, I've been looking around in the Facebook groups to get a trade for one that's out of box plus a little cash just to make up the difference. But so far, no luck. I love this box so much too. The art on the back is so nice. Now, since I'm talking about dolls that I got recently, I'll just do some more, housekeeping. While we're on the subject of inbox dolls, I also picked up a Pre-Production Spectra, and I have Ghoulia on the way. I wanted Ghoulia, and she sold out right away, and Spectra was still in stock for 2 days after, and I kept I was so pissed off that I missed Ghoulia. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get Spectra to make myself feel better. And finally, the last doll that I want to talk about is Bradzilla's. I think this is Yasmina. I always check my local thrift stores every other day to see if they have any Monster High, Rainbow High, Shadow High dolls in stock. And I actually found her the other day, which was really surprising because I saw one of these in the thrift store one time, but it was a Megana who had no clothing and her hair looked like Pennywise. And she actually comes with everything besides her little hat. She even had her earrings. So very refreshing. I've been striking out really bad at the thrift store lately, so this was a nice little find. I'm not sure if I'll keep her just because, like I said, I'm really trying hard not to expand my doll horizons just because I feel it's gonna get out of control. But still, she was $3. I had to pick her up. So now that all of that is out of the way, let's get into my Grail dolls. So I'm just gonna say right off the bat, Greta Gremlin. I want this doll so bad. I've wanted her for a really long time. But the only reason I haven't gotten her is because of the insane price tag they've attached to her. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure this doll retailed for $60, and now she's reselling in the $300 to $500 range. I'm an out-of-box collector, so obviously I would want one out-of-box, and those are a little bit more affordable, but at the moment I just can't justify spending over $200 on a doll. I say that right after I got Lily Chang, but I promise I got a good deal on her. Next on my Grail list is Dawn of the Dance Draculaura. Dawn of the Dance Draculaura is a doll that's been on my radar, again, pretty much since I started getting into Monster High. I initially remember seeing this doll and having no idea what the price point was and being oh my god, I need that. So I went on Monster High by Phase and looked it up and everything, and when I found out it was going for $200 to $300, I was I don't need that anymore. And it just goes to show the intensity of the Draculaura tax, because we're talking about a skull actor like Greta Gremlin where it's not reasonable that it went up to be $300 to $400, but it's understandable because it's a collector's doll. They're made in limited quantities. And then you have this doll that was in Walmart that's $300. That's a major reason why I won't spend the money on this doll. If I get one for a really good deal, great, whatever, but I would never lay out what people are asking for it just because I don't feel it's worth it. The only thing you could possibly say is that it was exclusive to a 3-pack, but there's a lot of dolls that are exclusive to group packs, and I think Dance Class Rochelle is only $35, so make it make sense. So the next doll I want to talk about is Fangboat Rochelle. And before anyone comes at me, I know I said I didn't like this doll that much, and it's valid. I don't like her much as I like other Rochelles. However, I want to complete my Rochelle collection, and I do need her to do that. I'd love to find someone selling one out of box for like maybe around the $100 range, but until that happens, I'm not really in a rush to get her. The same thing could be said for Freak Du Chic Draculaura. I've seen a lot of good deals for this doll, but I don't want it in box. I'd rather just wait to find one out of box. So those are my main Monster High ISO right now. However, I do want to talk about expanding my doll horizons. I know I keep saying I'm trying to resist this urge, but it's not a crime to look, right? First doll line I want to talk about that I want to own in my collection is Pinkie Cooper. Now, say what you will about these dolls. My mom and my boyfriend like literally hate them so much. Every time I bring them up, they're like those ugly dog dolls. And yeah, I really want these dolls. In particular, I want Pinkie in Paris, which I think is just really cute. They are relatively reasonably priced. I guess they're really not, but like when you're a Monster High collector, it's like my sense of like pricing is like all warped. I think they typically go for around $50 to $70 depending on completeness, but I'm hoping to find one cheaper than that. I've seen people find these in the thrift store, like just like in my groups and everything, so I'm kind of still holding out hope that that's possible for me. It's probably not, because I remember these they weren't a flop, but they weren't like, you know, as mass-produced as lines like Monster High, and you're seeing how difficult those are to find in secondhand stores now. Let's talk about some Rainbow Shadow High. Carla Chopet is one of the prettiest Rainbow Shadow High dolls they've ever come out with. I really, really like her. I don't like to spend like that much money on Rainbow Shadow High because like I do see them in the thrift store very, very frequently. I've been talking to somebody on Facebook who has like a huge lot of Rainbow Shadow High that their kid is just like done with, so I'm waiting for her to send me pictures of it, and I might go over there and pick it up. And if I do that, I will make a video going through the entire lot. Because I don't know what's in it, I'm kind of praying for dolls like Jewel, Carla, Delilah. But you know, I'm sure you can tell from the video, I'm a little spatially challenged in here, and the dolls are taking over. They're all up there, and they're starting to bleed over onto this wall now. I don't have any more room. I'm gonna have to start sacrificing space above my PC soon. Another doll I really want is Costume Ball Bella. I don't really like the rest of the Costume Ball line. I know this was like a real hit, like all of them are pretty popular. However, like it's a pink witch with like pearl spider details. Hi, I'm sorry I look like shit and the light's not on, but I realized while I was editing this I forgot to mention Novi Stars. I would do anything to get my hands on some Novi Stars. Unfortunately, the one that I like the most, I'm pretty sure is one of the rarest ones of all. I don't even know what her name is, so I'm just gonna insert a picture somewhere over here of her. I really, really like this one, and I hope I can get her eventually, but because I know like Novi Stars are like one of those like cult dolls that like a lot of people want, their prices are just insane, and I almost never see them in like my buy sell trade groups. A couple of other things I would really love to own are signature Rebecca Steam. Let me show you. You guys probably can't tell from here, but I have all of my signature Monster High dolls on this long middle shelf there, and Rebecca is one of the ones that's like the greatest one on my side that I don't have. I'm not a crazy fan of Rebecca. And the same goes for Meowity and Persephone. I had them at one point, and I kind of want them back just for the sake of them displaying well next to Toralei. But am I like wild about these dolls? Like, no. Like, I traded them away, and I haven't missed them for any other reason besides like display purposes. That to me tells me that I shouldn't get them back. Finally, just like a couple of like little odds and ends that I would really love to have in my collection. First of all, Twyla's Freak Du Chic shoes. I haven't had these ever. I have every other part from this doll besides the shoes, and if you know that the stilts for this doll click into the shoe, so you can't display the stilts without the shoe. The worst part is I wouldn't even have a problem like going out of my way to find the shoes. However, these psychos on the internet want to charge $20 for a pair of doll shoes. Now, if you know me in real life, you know that I'm like a prolific like secondhand shopper. Like, I don't really spend $20 on a pair of shoes for myself. So I have a hard time justifying paying $20 for a pair of doll shoes. And then the last thing that I think that really bothers me is Wydona's fly. I'm like always talking about this fly. And the worst part is they came out with a I Heart Fashion version of Wydona and then the San Diego Comic-Con version of Wydona. And this pet only came with the San Diego Comic-Con version of Wydona, which is a very expensive doll. So there's pretty much no reasonable way that I'm gonna get this pet. Praying that I find one in like a Facebook lot somewhere. I guess that's it for now. I'm sorry this week's video was a little boring. I'm gonna do, like I said, the unpopular Monster High opinions, and then I'm also gonna talk about my rankings of the Monster High movies because I've seen every single one of them now besides one, and I don't know, I've kind of just like been holding off on watching the last one because like I don't want it to be over. And like I said, if I end up getting that huge lot, obviously I'll make a video about that as well. But yeah, as always, if you stuck to the end, thank you so much for watching, and leave a comment down below about some Grail dolls that you're after. If you have any of the things that I mentioned, let me know. Maybe we can work out a deal. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.